Bundesliga predictions, round 32.
That's right, Ian. We are back. It's more Bundesliga predictions. There are only two rounds after this. 3 rounds in total. We are filming this before round 31 is complete. The dates just don't add up. We're really sorry. So match day 31 is imaginary. We've already given you all our predictions. We basically agree on 90% of the matches. So obviously that's what's going to happen. Thank you all for liking. Thank you all for subscribing. If you hold on till the end of the video, you will see shout-outs to all of you. We really appreciate it. We really like it. We really like the kind of back and forth. If you're looking for any sorts of videos, keep telling us. We've got a lot of people commenting that we need to be covering the League 1 and 2 playoffs. These are coming as soon as possible.
It's all coming. Turkish Super Cup.
Don't worry you about that. There will be no Turkish Super Cup.
Coming.
But look, let's get into this video. Enough guffawing from our corner, because Bayern 04 Leverkusen are hosting 1.FC Cologne.
Okay, Tom, Cologne. So, according to my statistics, Cologne have not won a game yet since coming back from the break. It doesn't look likely that they're going to win this one as well. It's going to be a very hard game for the Billy Goats. They don't really have anything to play for, though. I mean, they're a side that's come up from the league before. It's kind of petered out into a bit of a procession because they've got nothing to play for, and I wouldn't expect them to do that hot in this one, especially with Leverkusen pushing for Champions League places. If they're going to get anything out of the game, they need another fine performance from their back line, particularly Timo Horn, who had a great game out in the last game against Augsburg. Tony Leinster and Jonas Hector will also need to play solidly as well. Going forward, a lot of it always rests on John Cordoba. He seems to be their only spark. I know they're trying to tie up his contract right now. That'll be one they really, really need to, because if you lose him, I really worry for Cologne next season. So the only thing they're playing for is a bit of Hennes pride. And it's a shame they can't bring him into the game. And because they can't bring him into the game, that is the sole reason I'm backing Leverkusen to win 3-1.
Right, Ian, let's talk about Leverkusen. This is a sign we all know I love in the league. They were smashed 4-2 by Bayern. Then they've got a football match to play against, I can't remember, Schalke, which they'll obviously win. But they did win their semi-final against Saarbrücken. I think Saarbrücken are fourth division side in Germany. Beat them 3-0. We still have no word if Havertz will be playing. Obviously, he's been in the goals, and if he plays, that's great. He's been nominated for Player of the Month in May. We know Leverkusen are a possession-based side. We know they hold the ball really well. Their 3-4-3 should be able to counter Cologne's 4-2-3-1. They'll try and keep the ball central, and they'll try and control the match. Look out for Wirtz. He just keeps improving. And Alario up front seems a great deputy for Havertz if he's not in there. He's been really good in the 2 games Havertz missed. But let's talk about last time these teams met, because Cologne won that fixture 2-0, and Leverkusen had 2 sendings off. Dragovic got 2 yellows, Cordoba gave him the lead, and then Bailly came on as a sub, got a straight red card, and then Cologne went up the other end and scored. I think Leverkusen will want retribution from this. That, to me, I didn't watch it, but on paper, that just reeks of we are going to try and beat this team up when we play it. And as such, I feel bad for Cologne, because I think the Leverkusen boys are going to come for them. I think it's going to be the cleanest victory we've seen from them this season. I think it's going to be Leverkusen 4, Cologne 0.
Eintracht Frankfurt versus FC Schalke 0-4.
Right, I don't know how this has worked out, Ian, but apparently I'm in charge of talking about Die Königsblauen, the Royal Blues, and I don't have a lot of positive things to say, because every time I watch...
Has anybody got any positive... Has David Wagner got any positive things to say?
They're going to be coming off a game against Leverkusen, which you just can't see them winning in a million years. It took something special for them to draw their last match against Union, and that's to draw their last match against Union. Nubel was excellent in goal. He actually got a straight red card the last time these two sides played, but Schalke managed to win the game. I think we'll see him in goal again, even with him going to Bayern. I think Wagner's realized he needs his best 11 players on the pitch, because it is all going wrong. 19-year-old Welsh forward, we highlighted him last week, Rabiot Tondo. He looked really lively, and he's been in the news recently. Obviously, he's campaigning and stuff like that. But he seems to be getting publicity and getting in the team at the perfect moment for him. 3 matches to go. Maybe he can do something, put his name on the map, and get the hell out of Schalke, because who wants to be there? I don't see them winning this game against Frankfurt. You'll talk about Frankfurt. They really haven't had the last kind of week and a half, but Schalke are just... I mean, that's the team you want to play when you need a win, isn't it? I think Frankfurt will win this game 2-0.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard not to see Frankfurt winning this one relatively comfortably. It's just because Schalke don't score goals, isn't it? They just have no threat whatsoever. And to my detriment, I always seem to put them to score a goal as well. So why don't we just carry on that silly facade and say Frankfurt will win by 2-1. Not been a great week for Frankfurt before the weekend. Obviously, again, we're filming before they play. They lost to Mainz, which was a really poor result, and then they lost to Bayern Munich, probably not unexpectedly, in the DFB Pokal. That was a game they should have probably been dead and buried at half-time, then came back into it. But as we've seen loads of times, it just kind of angers Bayern, and then they just go down the other end and score. And they were well beaten, although they did play better in the second half. The same usual candidates. They're going to need Silva. They're going to need Kostic to put in 40,000 crosses before he puts a good one in. And they're going to need...
Come on!
Oh, my God. Shut your ears down. I'll give you a warning next time before he says Kamada watch, so you can turn the volume down on your computers. One thing about Frankfurt is they really have missed Goncalo Pansiar through injury this season. His goals have really been difficult to replace. One player who has done well for goals is Hinteregger, and every time I see him, he's got 8 goals this season. The more and more this guy seems to fancy himself as playing as a forward. He was like up front from like the 8th minute against Bayern. He was just literally, he doesn't want to defend anymore. He smells double figures. And and long story short, they're going to win this game. I've said 2-1. I think it'll be a relatively comfortable win for them.
All right, everybody, get your glasses out, because we're going to crack the cask. Because FC Augsburg are hosting 1899 Hoffenheim.
Just give me half a bottle of Blue Nun.
So as we talked about in the last video, Augsburg, they probably only need just a couple more points to get over the line and be safe this season. This is definitely one they'll be targeting, although Hoffenheim are in good form. They just need to score goals. They look actually a pretty decent side. Build-up play and everything is pretty good. They absolutely battered Koln at times and just couldn't stick the ball in the back of the net. Niederlechner, he just can't buy a goal at the moment, and I really hope just for him that he does actually score in this game. Their left back Max is their second highest goal scorer with 8 goals. He's had a really good return, but they really need a lot more from the other offensive players. You can't just put it all on Niederlechner and say, well, he's not scoring, so they don't score. They need more from Vargas, more from Richter. We haven't seen anything from Löwen since he scored that wonderful goal, free kick against Schalke. So they could be doing more. Maybe they need to change it. Maybe they need to give Sergio Cordoba a go. Maybe they need to give Reece Oxford a go. Who knows what harm it could do. But I think that it's difficult not to see a draw again in this one. I just think that that will suit Augsburg, and I just see them grinding out a 1-1 draw for Hoffenheim.
Ian, I'm baffled, and as such, I'm now going to appeal to the VBO public to give me an answer as to what in God's name is happening in Hoffenheim. We talked about this. They kind of turned their season around. They've got 8 points out of the last 12 available or something. It was a really good run of form. They're putting themselves back in with a shout of Europe. And then on the 9th of June, Alfred Schroeder is sacked. Disagreements about future development plans. It's only a year after Nagelsmann's left, and you're just Nagelsmann's hurt. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what. Maybe Hoffenheim don't think they're a European side. I don't know. Whatever.
Well, it makes you think that, doesn't it? If they've lost 2 managers now, Nagelsmann moved on to a bigger and better club. They've got rid of this guy. Is it just like the board are just kind of don't want to spend the money to move the club forward, and then they're false promises maybe to the managers?
You do feel like it's. I don't have an answer. Honestly, I don't. When we talked about this earlier, I just don't. I don't know why you do that.
But especially because there's no point bringing anybody in. It's just going to be an assistant manager now taking charge. Yeah. You might get the response out of the players, but this is a side that was on the cusp of possibly getting into Europe, and it seems a strange decision.
But both these sides line up the same, right? They both line up with a 4-2-3-1 most of the time. Hoffenheim have had some nuts matches, including a 2-2 draw with Dusseldorf that was really back and forth. They're playing Leipzig before this. Ian has it down as a draw. I have it down as a Leipzig win. But teams seem to be really raising their game against Leipzig, and Leipzig seem to be going completely missing in matches. So sacking the manager in that, maybe they'll come into this match with a win or a draw under their belts. Christian Baumgartner has been nominated for, it's so hard, nominated for Player of the Month. And we could see a first start since the break for Andrej Kramaric. I'm going to give Hoffenheim the win here because I just don't trust this Augsburg team. But, I mean, it's just such a mess. I'm going to go 2-1 to Hoffenheim.
Augsburg are so similar to Mainz, where you just feel that, like, they'll have that game where the goals go in.
One good match, though, means they have to lose the next one. It's the Mainz special.
I get it, but it's like it's more of the point of, like, they create chances in games and they can't score. So you would think they're bound to have that one game where they convert a couple of chances. Maybe they've already had it against Schalke earlier on the season. Werder Bremen versus Bayern Munich.
Oh, I'm so glad I get to talk first in this one, Ian, because it means I don't have to talk about Werder Bremen, that garbage crust of a team. I get to talk about De Roten. Assuming they won last week and then they win this match, they will have secured the title. They are that close. They beat Dortmund and Leverkusen in the run-up. This looks like an easy win, a layup with no defenders in sight. They beat Frankfurt 2-1. They're in the cup final against Leverkusen. They can actually rest some of their players, which doesn't mean anything because all their players are senior internationals. I mean, oh no, Ivan Perisic will start this game and Goretzka will finally be given a break. Like, oh, what a terrible day. Maybe Mueller will get a break as well. Lewandowski got the winner in the cup. He's now up to 45 goals this season. If he was playing in England, we would be going absolutely mental over this guy. Like, he is an absolute machine, and he reminds me a little bit of Van Nistelrooy in just that he does nothing for like 60 minutes, and then out of nowhere, he just smashes in a goal. And there's no doubt when he gets in front of goal, he gets that chance, it's going in. You know, it's ridiculous. Koeman, Mueller, Lewandowski, Goretzka, Perisic, Neuer, Boateng, Kimmich, Davies. There's too much Pavard, Kimmich. Oh, Pavard and Kimmich both up for Player of the Month in May. Like, this team is sensational, and they destroyed Werder last time they played. They were at home. They won 6-1. If this is a title-winning celebration, you can see the goals going in. And I am going to go big. I can't help it. 6-0 to Munich.
Wow. Did you mention our boy Pavard nominated for Player of the Month?
I did. Pavard and Kimmich, right?
But I don't care about Kimmich. I like Kimmich. Oh, for God's sake, why do I have to talk about Werder Bremen again? If you want to go and see me give a tongue lashing to Werder Bremen, go back and see the previous video because I was scathing about the way they played in the last week. If they haven't beaten Paderborn at the weekend, this is a must-win game. You've given yourself Bayern Munich at home as a must-win game. Bayern Munich could win the title here, and that could be a must-win game for you. You've won one game at home all season. You've been pathetic at home all season, and that one game is Bayern Munich now that you've got to go and try and beat. It's not going to happen. They might have Bittencourt back. They might have Rashica back, so they'll have some attacking options, but that's not going to matter. They're going to lose this game. They're going to need, like, a Herculean effort and beyond from the likes of Pavlinka, Voigt, Mosiander and Selassie. But it's not going to happen. I'm not going to talk about it anymore. It's going to be, I'm going to go one less than you, because I'm tempted to go one more, but I'm not. I'm going to go 5-0 to Bayern Munich. Look, I'm going to say one thing seriously, we talked about it. If this comes down to goal difference, this is one where Werder could get absolutely... If we've seen them capitulate in games. If Bayern Munich get one early, and they're known for getting one early, this could get really ugly for Werder Bremen, and it just could really, really mess up their goal difference even more than it is now.
SC Freiburg host Hertha Berlin.
The last time we saw Hertha Berlin, they did have that 1-0 defeat, which was their first defeat under Labadia, but it was to Borussia Dortmund. One thing I forgot to mention in that match as well is not only were they missing Cunha through a concussion, but during the first half, they also lost Luca Baggio and De Rolson to injuries. They weren't major injuries, but they pretty much just got completely hamstrung from an offensive point of view in that game pretty early on. Hopefully, they're all going to be back for this match, and if you are, you'd expect them to go out and beat this Freiburg side. It's a Freiburg side that can be dogged and can be rigid, but Hertha Berlin have been one of the best sides we've seen since they've come back from the break, I would say.
Hands down.
They're only 7 points off Europe while we're filming this, so they do have an outside chance if, like, the likes of Wolfsburg or Hoffenheim really do mess up. They had a really good away record before that Dortmund game, and I expect that to carry on. I think this is going to be quite a nice win for Hertha, and I can see them comfortable winners without being amazing. 2-0 win to Hertha Berlin.
I don't know why, Ian. I'm going to go 3-1 to Hertha Berlin. The Breisgau Brasileiros, the Brazilians of Breisgau.
How have they got that nickname?
I don't know, because my God, what a shit show of a club to watch. I have enjoyed exactly...
Harsh.
One game was good to watch of theirs since the restart, and it was the Leipzig match. The total surprise, obviously, before it ever happens in the weekend, when they beat Gladbach 1-0, but they're coming up against Wolfsburg before this game, and I can't see them winning that. It's just not for me. Haller, Grifo, coach, their work rate's immense, but they need goals. And the fact that coach maybe is better in the midfield than he is at center back is great, but like, you just don't see them getting many goals. They've only scored 39. They're conceding about the same amount. It's really just desperate. I don't like this Freiburg side. They're going to lose this. They're going to lose this 3-1.
Do you call him coach because you feel you'll be embarrassed if you pronounce it properly?
Is it Koch?
Cock. RB Leipzig versus Fortuna Dusseldorf.
Right, Ian, I'm going to talk about another team I have no interest in and I don't like. That's right, I'm going to talk about the Fortuna Dusseldorf, the club that has quite literally changed tactics in every single match I've watched. That right, they played a 4-3-5-2, a 4-3-3, a 3-4-3, a 4-1-4-1, a 4-2-2. My God, I don't know what the next lineup's going to be. Is it the 1-1-8? This club has no idea what it's doing. They don't care. They're a bad team. They're definitely going to lose this game. Before I even give you the score, or before I even talk more about this, Leipzig are going to win this 5-0. This is a round of goals, by the way. I predicted a 4-0, a 6-0, and a 5-0. I'm going for it. Dusseldorf are terrible. Yes, Hennings is back with the goals, but come on, man. Come on. They're not coming back. All they are, they're draw city. Draw. Which normally against... If normally you would like that, but Leipzig like to score goals against clubs like this. This is where Leipzig get their points. Dusseldorf aren't staying in the division. They're too weak. They've failed too many times. They've been given the chance to stay up. They keep turning wins into draws. They're losing this 5-0.
You set up the Hennings fan club, and now you're turning your back on them. I'm had enough of this Leipzig side. I'm still not sold on them at all, especially at home. They've drawn so many games at home. Nagelsmann reminds me a bit of an AVB, all talk, no action. Yes, they'll have that guy. Do you want to pronounce the name of that guy, Tom, who got sent off because you did a good northern accent last time?
Oh, Melicano.
He'll be back in the back line after suspension. The main talking point is still about Timo Werner, how he's gone to Chelsea. The coronavirus has kind of stopped that move from being made official, although everyone assures that it definitely is going to happen. They really need to stop these draws at home. They do, and if they don't, they're not going to be in the Champions League. It's good as that. I'm not going to have them battering this Dusseldorf tide, but I am going to have them scraping a win. I think it's going to be a 2-1 win for Leipzig, and they're going to celebrate it like they won the World Cup.
Leipzig don't do narrow victories. They do draws or blowouts, my friend.
This is the one time they do.
Borussia Dortmund host FSV Mainz 0-5.
Okay, the Yellow and Blacks, Tom. Finally, I get to talk about Borussia Dortmund after probably only 1 week, but it seems like longer than that. They've been, other than the loss to Bayern, we keep saying it, we sound like a broken record. They've been pretty much perfect. They play such a good controlling style of football. They just hypnotise sides into submission and then just rip them apart through fantastic play. Hopefully they'll have Haaland back for this game. That injury has probably gone on for a little longer than they expected. And also Marco Reus has come back into training too. We might see him feature, which we didn't think we would. We might see him feature, maybe not in this game, but in the games coming up. Quite rightly, Hakimi got nominated for Player of the Month. He's been excellent in pretty much every game I've seen them play. And I don't need to list off their players, but I'm going to. Brandt, Haaland, Sancho, Chan, Hakimi, Guerrero, Hazard. They're going to be too strong for Mainz. Way too strong for Mainz. And we know Mainz concede a lot of goals, so I'm going 4-0. I know we talked about them trying to force Sancho out. They have put a £115 million bounty on his head.
I don't even know what that club's doing with that. I don't know what the Bundesliga is doing with Jadon Sancho. Dortmund won the previous round of this 4-0. I can't do anything else. They're going to win this one 4-0 as well. Mainz got a crazy win against Frankfurt 2-0. Frankfurt just falling apart randomly for no apparent reason. It was a win they really needed. Inspired by Brzezinski, obviously, the bro of all bros. No micro infractions from this guy. He is the man, is Brzezinski. It's their first win since the break, and the 05s, the 05s, are not going to get another one. They have the worst defense in the league. It's only going to get worse against the second best attack in the league. They're not going to score. 4-0 Dortmund.
1.FC Union Berlin versus FC Paderborn. 0-7.
Ian, I just want numbers on every team. I enjoy them. They're great. They're entertaining. Cut me a glass of 1899 Hoffenheim. Wash it back with a 2005 vintage of FSV Mainz, and I'll graduate with SC Paderborn 2007. You heard it here first. Number 1, FC Union Berlin will be beating Paderborn 1-0 in this fixture.
Bro,
Paderborn are
the
done.
Side higher in the league beats bottom of the league. That is rogue, Thomas.
Shock.
You've gone out on a limb there.
I am on a limb, and it may break with me on it. Somehow Union only got a draw against the worst form team in the league, Schalke, before this. They only need to draw a couple more matches to get over the line, but I think they're going to beat this Paderborn team. It just hasn't quite snapped yet. Paderborn are putting in a ton of effort, but they have the second worst defense in the league, one of the worst attacks. They could already be down when the match is played. And yeah, sometimes clubs do really well, but they've really fought to the end of the year. And I just wonder if they're down already, maybe they just can't be bothered.
Union are going to make it a battle.
Well, exactly. And I don't know if Paderborn will be up for it if they've gone down again. I also really like how Union's set up. More of a 3 at the back and then a thick midfield and strikers up front. Paderborn are basically a 4-4-2 or a 4-1-4-1, but I have Union to win this 1-0.
Hard to argue with that, Thomas. We know we've seen Paderborn struggle to score goals. Well, indeed, both sides have struggled to score goals. They could already be down as this game's played. I would say one thing about these sides is at least they're 2 promoted sides coming up from last season. At least they're sides that have stuck to their guns. We've seen sides in the Premiership over recent years kind of go away and try to spend shitloads of money, and it hasn't really worked for them. Union Berlin have stayed true to what worked for them. Paderborn do play a much more expansive form of football, and they both tried to sort of stick to their guns. Union have just got a little bit more experience, and I'd say that's the biggest difference between the two sides. They've got a few more players that are a little bit more savvy, whereas Paderborn can be a bit naive in games at times. Hard not to agree with you, but I am just going to say it's a draw just because that seems like the most logical result. I'm going to say 1-1 draw, which would obviously send Paderborn down. But it's only a matter of time.
That's the same result they had when they played before as well, so it's hard not to see it.
And for our final match, it's our grandstand betters pick of the round. It's Borussia Mönchengladbach versus VfL Wolfsburg. So our good friends at Grandstand Betters have given us a prediction for this game, as they always do. They've gone for over 3 goals in the game between Mönchengladbach and Wolfsburg. If you don't know who Grandstand Betters are, they are a superb tipster website. We're super excited to be working with these guys. If you enjoy sports betting, you should really be going and checking out their tips. Their details are on the screen. They're also down in the descriptions below. Go over to Grandstand Betters and win yourself some cash.
Don't have too much to say about the Foals, really, Tom. We know they've been on this weird run of form of win a game, lose a game, and they are one of those sides that's been desperate to try and get in the Premier League. They are one of those sides that's been desperate to get into the Champions League, not the Premier League. You have to assume they're probably coming into this game off the back of a defeat to Bayern Munich, so they will be absolutely desperate for a win in this one. player is back, and that is big news because we talked about in the previous video how him and Thuram have a wonderful understanding up front, and they're going to need that, but they're also going to need more from the players behind that, from Strindell, from Newhouse, from Hoffman. Newhouse especially, he talked about how he needs to add more to his game. He needs to show that now. I know he's fits and starts for me. He's in and out of games too often. And this one's going to be really, really tight because Wolfsburg do not make any game expansive. And last time was 2-1 to Wolfsburg. I wouldn't be shocked if you go for the same score for me as me in this one, Tom. I'm going 2-1 Gladbach.
Oh my god, I've already typed the result in. It's definitely going to be 2-1 Gladbach. Wolfsburg have to go win-loss, 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 and we already know that.
However, I've got them to lose at the weekend, so that would say that they're going to win this game.
It's a good point, Ian. Oh, my bias is weighing in. Oh, no. Still, it's 2-1. It's 2-1 to Gladbach. I think Gladbach...
Weghorst.
I think Weghorst will score, and I think Wolfsburg will make it close because that's exactly what they do. I think Gladbach, though, having seen them play like 5 times now, they do play really good football. I think they're better than this Wolfsburg team that, like, every now and then seem to be able to turn it on, but they really seem to kind of slog through matches. They set up really negatively. And I've said it every time I've talked about them. They're the 6th best side in the country. They're the cutoff point. They're that kind of drop off from the top 5. We talked about John Brooks, the back. He's really good. We talked about Mbabu. He's another really talented player there. Weghorst probably won't be there next year. He's probably going to get signed by someone else. I just Plia and Thuram when they get to play together. It's hard to look past them. I've really liked Newhouse in half his games. You're right, he needs to score goals, but I just think they will. I think they'll get over the line. I got Die Fohlen beating Die Wölfe 2-1.
Oh, it's getting very sad, isn't it, as these weeks roll down? I mean, it's very nice to have this football taking place in June and July, but I'm going to be sad when the Bundesliga ends. Just a couple more weeks to go now on Bundesliga predictions, but do not be sad, Very Biased Opinions fans, because there is so much more that you can see on our channel with Premier League predictions, Serie A predictions, La Liga predictions, and we're also doing predictions for the playoffs in League 1 and League 2, and no doubt the Championship when that rolls round as well. So plenty to like and enjoy. As always, please continue to support us on this channel. We appreciate it so much. Give this video a thumbs up. And if you like the content on this channel and you haven't subscribed yet, hit the subscribe button and hit the notify bell so you don't miss out on any future videos. Go over to Grandstand Betters, check them out and win yourself some cash. And I'm going to throw over to Thomas, who I believe has some shout-outs.
Yeah, right. I got to do this. We're going to thank Beth Craig for commenting. Thank you very much. Going to thank Sam Rathbone. Asking us if we're excited. I know, garbage.
I'm going to call them all rubbish because I'm going to call them all rubbish.
All right, well, Sam Rathbone, Oxford v Pompey in playoffs. Yes, we're all very excited for that. Mikolaj BBB. Thank you for pointing out some stuff to us that genuinely we didn't know is really helpful. Robert Allen, always good to see you.
Oh, he's the worst. He is the worst.
Johnny Talks Bundesliga, really great channel. Go check him out. He comments on us. He's doing a new thing where he picks the results out of a hat because he's on such a bad run of form, and I love that. That's the sort of dumb thing I would do if I was doing badly at it for a day. Again, Sam Rathbone, thank you. You comment a lot. Thorben Barrett, you give their predictions every week. Really well done. Darren Warburton, Adventures of the Boys. Clearly fans of Wickham. Scum and total scum, but you're a good laugh to talk to, and we hope to see you in the League One playoff finals.
Oh, Wickham playoff final.
Yeah, that's what I said to him last time he commented. Mikolaj BBB, again, thank you so much. Random people going want to be friends. No, go away. Shane O'Donnell, thank you for your predictions. Really good. And that's everyone that's commented on round 31. This is round 32. These have been our predictions. We love you. We appreciate you. Please like, subscribe, comment all day long. And with that being said, I'm now going to go to bed.